ለመማር ወደ ትምህርት ተቋም መሄድ ግድ አይደለም።
ናሽናል አቪዬሽን ኮሌጅ
ራሳችሁን ከኮሮና ቫይረስ ወረርሽኝ እየጠበቃችሁ በቤታችሁ ወይም በተመቻችሁ ቦታ
በኢንተርኔት አማካኝነት በኦንላይን ትምህርታችሁን መከታተል ይቻላል።
ካናዳ ከሚገኘው ኢንተርናሽናል ኤር ትራንስፖርት አሶሲዬሽን አያታና
ከእንግሊዙ ኢንስቲትዩት ኦፍ ኮመርሻል ማኔጅመንት ICM ጋር በመተባበር የሚሰጡ ትምህርቶችን ተከታትላችሁ በ6 ወር ጊዜ በዓለም አቀፍ ደረጃ ተቀባይነት ያለውን የስልጠና ማስረጃ ባለቤት መሆን ይቻላል።
ከኢትዮጵያ ሲቪል አቪዬሽን ባለስልጣን ሙሉ ዕውቅና ባገኘንባቸው የፍላይት ኦፕሬሽን እና የሆስተስ ስልጠናም በምዝገባ ላይ ነን።
ጥያቄና መልስ፣ የክፍል ስራዎች ብሎም ፈተና መፈተን ክፍል ውስጥ እንዳላችሁ አይነት
ልምድ ባላቸው መምህራን እየተማራችሁ
በኦንላይን ባላችሁበት ቦታ
አድራሻ ከ22 ማዞሪያ ወደ ሾላ ገበያ በሚወስደው መንገድ 150 ሜትር ገባ ብሎ ናሽናል አቪዬሽን ኮሌጅ
የናሽናል ኤርዌይስ እህት ኩባንያ
ህልሞን እውን ያደርጋል።
So, as you know, my name is Mr. Molla. And just to introduce you about me, because it is our first course, I have a PhD in management, major in financial management. I will offer you the course Fundamental of Risk Analysis, which has 3 credit hours. And as I informed from your course coordinator, he told me we will be together for the next 2 months, right? And our session is on Friday evening and Saturday afternoon. We will meet for 2 hours, right? ድምጽ ወደም ይሰማችኋል? ጥራቱ ጥሩ ነው?
ፊኒ ይሰማኛል በጣም።
All right. Thank you so much. So I think we will have a good times for this course. It's more of my related to my major, and compared to other courses, the content of the course is more advanced courses. It's more of advanced courses, and I hope we will have a good times. Today, I will introduce you about the course objectives, course purpose, and contents. Okay, thank you. So the course, as you know, the course is Fundamental of Risk Analysis. This is your major course. And the course purpose is just to introduce you some of the fundamental tools and techniques for risk analysis and management. And the course contains some advanced techniques and tools which used to analyze credit risk and different types of risk, mainly marketing risk and credit risks. And at the end of the course, as a student, you're supposed to know and supposed to have or supposed to able to know or identify fundamental concept of risks, and you will able to explain the common characteristics of risk, and able to identify and measure business loss exposures, and you will briefly discuss how to select among different tools for risk management and analysis. And similarly, at the end of the course, you will provide a consistent methodology for performing credit risk analysis, especially for market risk and credit risk. And you will able to do or use some techniques and tools for risk analysis and risk management. Of course, risk analysis is a part of the risk management. And you would able to identify data for risk analysis, because you should have some input to have some output for decision making. And the course is designed to provide information on how risk management fit into the overall business management process, which means how risk management support the overall business management process. And similarly, the course is designed to provide some guidance on how to proactively respond to various types of risks. And finally, you would able to measure or if possible to eliminate exposure to loss and risks. Generally, the course has 6 chapters, very important 6 chapters. And the first chapter is about introduction to fundamental concepts of risk and exposure. And we will see some terminologies related with risk analysis and management. More precisely, we will discuss about, we will try to define what risk mean and risk analysis mean. And we will see the importance of risk and uncertainty assessments. Similarly, we will discuss in chapter 1, we'll discuss about risk management, which incorporate issues related with the development of risk management, related risk management approach. I think someone is getting in, let me add. Is there anyone entering to our discussion? What a discussion ይገባል? Okay. Similarly, we will discuss about systematic risk, which is the most important risk that we can able to minimize or avoid. And within this concept, we'll discuss about the cause of systematic risk, factors that affect systematic risk, or factors which are responsible for the existence of systematic risk in a business. And we will learn a regulatory mechanism for systematic risk. As you know, the most important risk that we can deal is systematic risk. So in the first chapter, we will see more about systematic risk. And at the end of chapter 1, we will discuss the importance of developing proper risk analysis framework. As you know, there are different frameworks used to analyze risk. For various types of risk, there are different frameworks, and we will discuss why we need to have a proper mechanisms or proper framework for risk analysis. And chapter 2 is related about common thinking about risk and risk analysis. And actually, I am using the content is presented in your curriculum. So chapter 2 is more about common thinking about risk and risk analysis. And in this chapter, there are 3 major issues that we are going to discuss. The first one is about accident risk. We will see some statistics about accident risk and the mechanism to analyze such types of risk. And secondly, we will discuss about economic risk. And we will try to define what economic risk in business and project management. Please remember that this paper, this course is more related with business and project management, or the concept of risk under overall business, and specifically from the project management framework. Similarly, we'll see about the cost risk analysis, which means the risk related with input, that is cost. And most importantly, we will discuss about the finance and the portfolio theory. I don't know your background, but these 2 theories, some finance theories and portfolio theories, are very important for the risk analysis. And in fact, here in this chapter, we will have a kind of some introduction, and the remaining section we will discuss about detail about different corporate finance theories and portfolio theories. And in the last major section of chapter 2 is how to discuss and arrive conclusion using a given risk analysis tools. For instance, we have different tools, various tools for various types of risk. So we will discuss the interpretation, the implication, and how we can arrive a certain conclusion using the output of a given risk analysis tools. Specifically, we will focus on classical approach, Bayesian paradigm, economic risk and rational decision making, and other perspectives and applications. This is the content in chapter 2. Chapter 3 is more of a straightforward with the course name, risk and risk analysis, right? Risk and risk analysis. So we have the concept of risk in chapter 1 and chapter 2. And we try to relate with the concept of risk on different risk analysis and tools and approaches. We will see basic ideas and principles in both risk management and the risk analysis concept, models and simplifications in probability consideration. Actually, we will focus more on probabilistic measure of risk analysis. And we will try to see observable quantities, because in measuring risk, our data should be measurable, right? And it should be observable. And economic risk impact, this part is repeated in chapter 2, cost of risk, production risk, business and project management, investment in money in stock market. And this is the most important part of the chapter 2, investing money in stock market. And we will see what are the related risks and how to analyze with stock market investment. And the other most important concept of this chapter is discounted cash flow analysis as a measure of risk, right? As a measure of risk. I'm not sure whether you took the corporate finance courses like that of financial management, financial institutions and capital markets. ወስዳችሁ እንደዚህ አይነት ኮርሶችን የፋይናንስ ኮርሶች?
አይ አልወሰድንም።
Yes, አንዱን
ፋይናንሻል ማኔጅመንት አልወሰዳችሁ? አድቫንስድ ፋይናንሻል ማኔጅመንት
ፋይናንሻል ማኔጅመንት አንድ ወስደናል።
አንድ ወስዳችኋል። ኦኬ። ኢንቨስትመንት
አልወሰድንም። በቃ እሱን ነው የወሰድነው።
Okay. So here the last two concepts, investing money stock market and the use of discounted cash flow analysis, are the advanced financial management concept. And here is which is very important for the evaluation or analysis of a given risk. We will focus on this, the last two items in chapter 3. Chapter 4 is more of statistical or measure of risk based on statistical concepts. So straightforward, it says how to assess uncertainties and specify probability. So here we will focus, as I said before, here we will focus on what is a good probability assignment, because when we measure risk, we should assign probability, right? And the way we assign a probability for the occurrence of a given risk should be evaluated, whether it is good or a kind of not good, whether it is appropriate or not appropriate. So here we will see criteria for evaluating probabilities. Just the assignment and evaluation of probabilities are a very important concept for risk analysis, because risk is something which will happen to the future. So we have to assign a proper probability, and we must have a good means to evaluate probabilities. So here we will see heuristics and biases, evaluation of accessors, standardization and consequence, assigning uncertainties for why. Why means in finance concept that is explained variable. For example, in econometrics, we call it the dependent variable or something explained. And we will see about classical statistical methods. analysis adjustment using all sorts of information, formal expert listations, Bayesian analysis. This is the most important concept. And finally, we will discuss about uncertainties related with vectors. Vectors means explanatory variables for a given risk, right? So we will see uncertainties for Y, the explained or the dependent variables, and uncertainties for vectors or the independent variables or explanatory variables. Chapter 5, I tell you before, the overall concept of this chapter, this course is designed from the perspective of market and credit risk. In fact, there are various types of risks, right? There are various types of risks, but the most important part are market risk and credit risk. So the entire content of chapter 5 is designed to introduce some concept about market risk and credit risk, and it design or it goes a deep analysis how to measure market risk and credit risk. So we will have some conceptual approach for modeling market risk and modeling credit risk. And if you know, the recent theory is the modern portfolio theory, which combine a set of investment alternatives or investment areas. So we will deal with the issue of credit risk, market risk under the concept of portfolio theory. And capital asset pricing model, which is a traditional or a relatively older model. And now there is a kind of new approach to modify this approach. I think you have some concept about capital asset pricing model, security line, arbitrage pricing. Chapter 5 is more related with finance terminologies, which related with finance theories or the application of finance model to measure market risk and credit risk. And similarly, we will see some regulatory initiatives for market risk and value at risk. And we will also see the concept of credit risk regulation, conceptual approach for modeling credit risk, measuring credit risk for portfolios, development of new approach for credit risk management. And I think chapter 5 is a relatively advanced part of this course. And it is more of quantitative, right? It's more of the application of theories in the form of quantitative, not qualitative approach. I think we will enjoy and you will have a good understanding about capital asset pricing model and the arbitrage pricing theory and other related management, financial management theories. The last chapter is about analysis, risk analysis and risk management. Actually, the concept of risk management by itself is very broad. Very broad. But in this section, we will see major risk analysis tools or techniques which used to manage a given risk, right? A given risk, because a risk management process by itself, it contains more than 6 steps that each can be a chapter, right? It can be a chapter. So here we will see types of uncertainties, theory of error, Monte Carlo risk analysis modeling, which is a bit complicated model. And we'll see design, the structure of model, disaggregation, determining the input uncertainties in the model, probabilities, the risk analysis, and other modeling dependencies, right? Other dependent dependencies. And the most importantly, we will try to interpret the results obtained using the above method of risk analysis, right? Method of risk analysis. Generally, we can say that the course contains various issues or advanced issues, and I hope we will learn each and every content of the courses, right? Every content of the courses. And the core text and references, actually, there are a lot of books, recent books related with risk analysis and risk management. According to your curriculum, the core text for the course is Fundamental of Risk Analysis and Management, which is written by Vlastamolk and published by Cincinnati University, which published in 1997, right? 1997. So I will give you this book today. I will share you this book today. And as the reference materials, ይህንን እነዚህ ሪፈረንሶችን የወሰድኳቸው ከእናንተ ካሪክለም ጋር ነቀጣ የተወሰዱት ምናልባት ከነዚህ የተሻለ ሪፈረንስ ማቴሪያሎች ሊኖሩ ስለሚችሉ I will give you other better books, right? Other better books. And in fact, you will have a well-designed PowerPoint, PPTs, and handout, right? And handout. So today I will give you the core text, Fundamental of Risk Analysis, the work of Molak. The other thing is teaching and learning methods and evaluation modality. And actually, as you know, we are under the pandemic period. It's very difficult to apply or teaching and learning methods. And it's also very difficult to apply evaluation modalities specified in your curriculum, right? Curriculum. So as a content, I just display here, which is taken from your curriculum, but we will follow traditional means of learning. For example, we will have lecturing, and sometimes, if possible, we will have a kind of discussion using the same app, right? The Zoom discussions. And in fact, you will have take-home learning mechanisms, right? Learning mechanisms. And with regard to evaluations, here presented items cannot be applied at this moment. So I will give you a kind of individual assignment, right? Maybe two assignments that will evaluate from 50%. And your final examination, based on your understanding and the way we discuss, you will have final exam from 50% at the beginning of October, right? At the beginning of October. So for the coming 2 weeks or 3 weeks, I will give you at least the first assignment,